There is a war being fought in the Middle East. Not with weapons, not with armies. With concrete, glass, and ambition. On one side, Dubai, the city that proved the impossible was possible. The city that turned empty desert into a global destination. The city that other cities try to copy. On the other side, Riyadh, the capital of Saudi Arabia, the city with more money, more oil, more land, and more determination to become what Dubai became, only bigger, faster, and more permanent. For decades, this wasn't a competition. Dubai was the undisputed champion of Middle Eastern ambition. Riyadh was a conservative capital, closed to tourists, invisible to the world, content to let its smaller neighbor take the spotlight. That changed in 2016. Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman launched Vision 2030, a plan to transform Saudi Arabia from an oil-dependent kingdom into a diversified global economy. At the center of that plan, Riyadh, not Niam, not the line. Riyadh, the capital, would become a megacity of 15 million people. It would host the world's largest events. It would attract the world's biggest companies. It would do everything Dubai did, but at a scale Dubai could never match. Dubai noticed, and Dubai responded. What followed is the most expensive urban competition in human history. Two cities, separated by 1,000 kilometers of desert, spending hundreds of billions of dollars to prove which one deserves to lead the region into the future. One city has a 50-year head start. The other has seemingly unlimited resources. One city is open, cosmopolitan, and proven. The other is vast, ambitious, and unpredictable. This is not a story about which city is better. That question has no answer. This is a story about what happens when two visions of the future collide, about what each city is betting on, about what each city might lose. By the end, ULL understands something that most people miss. Dubai and Riyadh are not competing with each other. They're competing against time itself. To understand this rivalry, you need to understand what Dubai actually achieved. In 1970, Dubai's population was 80,000 people. It was a small trading port. There was no skyline, no airport, no tourism industry. The tallest building was a few stories high. Today, Dubai's population exceeds 3.5 million. Over 17 million tourists visit annually. The skyline includes the world's tallest building. The airport is one of the busiest on Earth. The city generates more GDP than some European countries. This transformation happened in one human lifetime. People who were born in fishing villages lived to see those villages become global landmarks. How did this happen? Dubai had almost no oil. That sounds like a disadvantage, but it became the city's greatest asset. Because Dubai couldn't rely on oil revenue forever, it was forced to diversify early. It had to become something other than an oil economy. It had to attract investment, tourism, and talent from around the world. The strategy was simple in concept, revolutionary in execution. Make Dubai the easiest place in the region to do business, visit, and live. Free zones with zero corporate taxes. World-class infrastructure. Liberal social policies compared to neighbors. Efficient government services. A legal system that international businesses could trust. Dubai became a hub. Airlines connected through Dubai. Shipping passed through Dubai. Conferences happened in Dubai. Money flowed through Dubai. The city created spectacles that generated global attention. The Burj Khalifa, the Palm Jumeirah, the Dubai Mall, indoor ski slopes in the desert. Each project announced to the world, Dubai is different. Dubai is possible. Dubai is the future. The model worked so well that it spawned imitators across the region. Qatar built its own version. Abu Dhabi built its own version. Bahrain tried. Kuwait tried. None matched the original. Dubai's success came from timing, leadership, and something harder to replicate. Credibility. When Dubai announced a project, the world believed it would be completed. When Dubai promised returns, investors trusted those promises. This credibility was earned over decades, project by project, promise by promise. Now Riyadh wants what Dubai has, but Riyadh wants it immediately. And that's where the competition gets interesting. Riyadh is not a new city. It has been Saudi Arabia's capital for nearly a century. It is home to 7.5 million people. It is the seat of the Saudi government and the headquarters of Saudi Aramco, the world's most valuable company. But for most of its modern history, Riyadh was invisible to the outside world. No tourists came because Saudi Arabia didn't issue tourist visas. No international events happened because the infrastructure didn't exist. No global companies headquartered there because there was no reason to. Riyadh was a city for Saudis, a city of government ministries, shopping malls, and private compounds, where expatriate workers lived separate lives. It functioned, it grew, but it didn't aspire to global relevance. Vision 2030 changed everything. Mohammed bin Salman's plan identified Riyadh as the engine of Saudi transformation. The city would grow from 7.5 million to 15 million people. It would become one of the world's 10 largest city economies. It would host events that would put it on the global map. The investments began immediately and at unprecedented scale. Dirija, a $60 billion cultural district built around the UNESCO World Heritage Site, where the Saudi state was founded. Luxury hotels, museums, restaurants, entertainment venues, all celebrating Saudi heritage while delivering international experiences. Qiddiya, a $8 billion entertainment city southwest of Riyadh. Theme parks, sports facilities, a Six Flags branded attraction, a Formula One circuit, and the Prince Mohammed bin Salman Stadium perched on cliffs overlooking the desert. King Salman Park, what will be the world's largest urban park at 16 square kilometers, 4 times the size of Central Park. The Mukaab, a 400-meter cube, large enough to contain 20 Empire State Buildings, suspended in January 2026, but still part of the city's long-term vision. Sports came next. Riyadh began hosting boxing matches, tennis tournaments, golf events, and wrestling shows. Cristiano Ronaldo joined Al Nassr. Neymar joined Al Hilal. Karim Benzema followed. The biggest names in football were suddenly playing in the Saudi capital. Then came the announcements. World Expo 2030, the 2034 FIFA World Cup, the 2034 Asian Games, all awarded to Saudi Arabia, with Riyadh as the primary host city. In less than a decade, Riyadh went from invisible to unavoidable. But there was one more move that signaled Riyadh's true intentions. In 2024, Saudi Arabia announced that international companies seeking government contracts must relocate their regional headquarters to Riyadh by 2024. Not Dubai, not Abu Dhabi, Riyadh. The message was clear. If you want Saudi money, you come to Saudi Arabia. Dubai had spent 50 years convincing companies to come. Riyadh simply demanded it. Let's look at what each city actually has right now. In 2026, population, Dubai, 3.5 million metro area, approximately 5 million Riyadh, 7.5 million, targeting 15 million by 2030. Riyadh is already twice Dubai's size, but population alone doesn't determine urban power. GDP, Dubai, approximately $120 billion. 2024, Riyadh, approximately $100 billion 2024, but backed by Saudi Arabia's $925 billion sovereign wealth fund. Dubai's economy is more diverse. Riyadh's resources are vastly deeper. TOURISM, Dubai. 17+ million international visitors annually. Riyadh, approximately 2 million international visitors annually. Dubai dominus. Riyadh isn't even close, but Saudi Arabia only began issuing tourist visas in 2019. Airports, Dubai, international, 87 million passengers annually. World's busiest for international traffic, King Khalid International. Riyadh, 35 million passengers annually. Dubai's airport is a global hub. Riyadh's serves primarily regional and domestic routes. A new airport for Riyadh, King Salman International, is under construction with planned capacity of 120 million passengers. Tallest building, Dubai. Burj Khalifa, 828 meters, world's tallest since 2010. Riyadh. Kingdom Center, 302 meters. Dubai owns this category entirely. Riyadh has no announced super tall projects approaching Burj Khalifa's height. Hotel rooms. Dubai. Approximately 150,000 Riyadh. Approximately 40,000 targeting 250,000 by 2030. Dubai has 3 times the hotel capacity. Riyadh is building furiously, but starting from far behind. Quality of life for expatriates. Dubai alcohol permitted in licensed venues. Relatively liberal social environment. Established international schools and hospitals. Riyadh. No alcohol officially. More conservative social environment. Rapidly improving but less established expatriate infrastructure. Ease of doing business. Dubai. Decades of established free zones. Efficient processes. International arbitration. Predictable legal environment. Riyadh. Rapidly improving. Major reforms underway. But less track record. More uncertainty about enforcement, entertainment, and nightlife. Dubai. World-class. Restaurants, clubs, bars, concerts, international DJ performances. Riyadh. Growing entertainment scene. Major concerts. But no alcohol. More restrictions. The numbers tell a clear story. Dubai is currently ahead in almost every category that matters for international competitiveness. But numbers can be deceiving. Dubai's advantages were built over 50 years. Riyadh is trying to close those gaps in 10. The question is not where each city stands today. The question is where each city will stand in 2034, when Riyadh hosts the World Cup, and the world comes to judge whether the Saudi capital delivered on its promises. Riyadh has more money than Dubai. Saudi Arabia's public investment fund alone could purchase most of the companies headquartered in Dubai. If this competition were simply about spending, Riyadh would win by default. But urban competition isn't about spending. It's about something harder. To acquire. Trust. Dubai has earned trust over decades. When Dubai announces a project, international partners believe it will be completed. When Dubai promises a business-friendly environment, companies trust that the rules won't change arbitrarily. When Dubai hosts an event, sponsors know the infrastructure will be ready. This trust was not given. It was earned through performance. The Burj Khalifa was completed on schedule and became an icon. The Dubai Metro was built and functions efficiently. Expo 2020, despite pandemic disruptions, was executed successfully. Year after year, project after project, Dubai delivered. Riyadh has not yet earned this trust. The line was announced at 170 kilometers. It became 2.4 kilometers. Then, it pivoted to data centers. Trojena promised the 2029 Asian Winter Games. The games were cancelled. The Mukaab was announced as the world's largest structure. Construction was suspended. Each revision damages credibility. Each delay creates doubt. Each pivot makes the next announcement harder to believe. This is not about capability. Saudi Arabia can build extraordinary things. The Riyadh Metro, completed in 2025, is one of the most advanced urban transit systems on Earth. King Abdullah Financial District, despite early struggles, has become a functioning business center. But capability and credibility are different things. Capability asks, can you build it? Credibility asks, will you build what you promised? Dubai's second advantage is culture, not Saudi culture versus Emirati culture. Urban culture, the accumulated practices, networks, and institutions that make a city function for international residents and businesses. Dubai has world-class international schools that have operated for decades. It has hospitals where expatriates trust the care. It has legal frameworks that international businesses understand. It has social norms that visitors can navigate. Riyadh is building these institutions. But institutions take time to mature. A new international school needs years to establish reputation. A new hospital needs years to build trust. A new legal framework needs years of case law to become predictable. Dubai's third advantage is geography. Dubai sits in the UAE, which sits at the crossroads of Europe, Asia, and Africa. Its time zone allows business communication with London in the morning and Singapore in the evening. Its airport connects to more destinations than almost any other on Earth. Riyadh is larger but more isolated. Its time zone is similar to Dubai's, but its airport connectivity is far inferior. Reaching Riyadh requires more planning, more flights, more friction. This can change. Saudi Arabia is investing heavily in aviation, but changing route networks takes years of negotiation, infrastructure, development, and demand building. Money can accelerate many things. It cannot accelerate everything. If Dubai's advantages come from 50 years of development, Riyadh's advantages come from something simpler: scale. Saudi Arabia is 80 times larger than the UAE by land area. Saudi Arabia's population is 3 times larger. Saudi Arabia's oil reserves are vastly larger. Saudi Arabia's sovereign wealth fund is larger. In any competition that comes down to resources, Riyadh wins. But more importantly, Riyadh has captive demand. Saudi Arabia's population of 36 million people represents the largest domestic market in the Gulf region. These consumers need entertainment, retail, services, and experiences. For decades, they traveled to Dubai, Bahrain, and beyond to find what wasn't available at home. Vision 2030 is, in part, a strategy to capture that spending domestically. Why should Saudis fly to Dubai for concerts when concerts can happen in Riyadh? Why should Saudis vacation in Bahrain when resorts can be built in Saudi Arabia? This captive demand provides a foundation that Dubai lacks. Dubai must constantly attract international visitors because its domestic population is small. Riyadh can build for Saudis first and international visitors second. Riyadh's second advantage is government alignment. In Dubai, government and business are intertwined but separate. Multiple entities control different aspects of city development. Coordination requires negotiation. In Riyadh, the government's will is unified. When Mohammed bin Salman decides something will happen, the entire apparatus of the Saudi state moves to make it happen. Land is acquired. Permits are issued. Resources are allocated. Opposition is not a factor. This can lead to mistakes. Unified will without diverse input can pursue projects that shouldn't be pursued. But it also enables speed and scale that democratic or distributed systems cannot match. Riyadh's third advantage is desperation. This sounds counterintuitive. How is desperation an advantage? Saudi Arabia needs Vision 2030 to succeed. The kingdom's oil reserves, while vast, are finite. The era of oil-dependent economies is ending. Saudi Arabia must transform or face long-term decline. Dubai succeeded. Dubai is comfortable. Dubai can continue doing what it has always done. Riyadh cannot. Riyadh must transform. This desperation creates commitment that comfort cannot match. Every major project in Riyadh is backed by existential motivation. Failure is not acceptable because failure threatens the kingdom's future. This motivation drives decisions, allocates resources, and sustains effort through obstacles. Dubai competes because competition is profitable. Riyadh competes because competition is survival. That difference matters more than any amount of money. Riyadh will host World Expo 2030, an event that typically attracts tens of millions of visitors over 6 months. Expo 2020 in Dubai was considered a success, despite pandemic challenges. It attracted 24 million visits and showcased Dubai's ability to execute complex international events. Entertainment and hospitality that meets international expectations, security that keeps visitors safe, without creating oppressive atmosphere. If it struggled, doubts about every subsequent promise will intensify. The 2034 World Cup will be the largest event ever hosted in Saudi Arabia. 48 teams, 15 stadiums across 5 cities, millions of visitors. Global television audiences measured in billions. This is Riyadh's moment to claim global city status. When the world watches the World Cup final in 2034, they will see Riyadh. The question is what they will see. The stadiums worked. The games happened. Qatar emerged with enhanced reputation. Riyadh must achieve the same outcome at larger scale, in a country facing even more intense international criticism. Also in 2034, Riyadh will host the Asian Games, one of the largest multi-sport events after the Olympics. This event, combined with the World Cup in the same year, will test Riyadh's capacity to its limits. Hosting two major international events in 1 year requires redundant infrastructure, massive staffing, and flawless coordination. It is a bet that Riyadh can perform at Olympic-level intensity for an entire year. If Riyadh fails, it will demonstrate that ambition without proven capability produces expensive embarrassment. Both cities plan as though they control their futures. Neither does oil. Prices. Saudi Arabia needs oil at approximately $96 per barrel to balance its regular budget. It needs oil at $113 per barrel to fund its mega projects. As of early 2026, oil trades around $60. Every dollar below these thresholds represents money that cannot fund Riyadh's transformation. If oil remains depressed, projects will be delayed, scaled back, or cancelled. As we've already seen with the Line, Tragina, and the Mukaab, Dubai is less vulnerable to oil prices because its economy is more diversified. Tourism, trade, and services generate revenue regardless of crude markets. This asymmetry means Riyadh's ambitions depend on factors entirely outside Saudi control. Chinese demand, American production, OPEC coordination, global recession. Any of these can crater oil prices and crater Riyadh's plans. Geopolitical stability. The Middle East is not a stable region. Wars in Yemen, tensions with Iran, unpredictable shifts in American policy, potential conflicts involving Israel and neighboring states. Dubai has survived regional instability by positioning itself as neutral ground. It trades with Iran and Israel simultaneously. It hosts American bases while maintaining relationships with Russia and China. It has cultivated an image as Switzerland, with beaches, a place where business continues regardless of regional politics. Riyadh cannot claim similar neutrality. Saudi Arabia is a regional power with regional enemies. Its intervention in Yemen, its rivalry with Iran, its complex relationship with Israel, its dependence on American security guarantees, all create vulnerabilities. A major regional conflict would devastate both cities, but it would devastate Riyadh more severely. Dubai can claim neutrality, Riyadh cannot. Social Change Vision 2030 promises transformation of Saudi society. Women driving, entertainment permitted. Tourists welcomed, social restrictions eased. These changes have happened, but they have happened under absolute monarchy, imposed from above, not demanded from below. They can be reversed. They depend on the continued commitment of leadership that could change. Dubai's social liberalism, while also imposed by ruling families, has a 50-year track record. International residents and businesses trust that the rules won't suddenly change. Riyadh is asking for similar trust without similar track record. If social policies reverse, or if enforcement becomes unpredictable, the talent and investment that Riyadh seeks will flow elsewhere, probably to Dubai. Leadership continuity. Mohammed bin Salman is 39 years old. He could lead Saudi Arabia for another 4 decades. His vision drives every project in Riyadh. What happens if that leadership changes? What happens if priorities shift? What happens if the next generation of Saudi leadership has different visions? Dubai's development was driven by Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid, but the city has developed institutional structures that continue functioning regardless of individual leadership. The system runs itself. Riyadh's transformation is deeply personalized. MBS decides. MBS prioritizes. MBS commits. This creates speed and alignment, but also concentration risk. The future of Riyadh depends on one person's continued health, focus, and commitment. That is a variable neither city can control. So, which city wins? I promised this documentary would not answer that question. It cannot be answered because it depends on what winning means. If winning means attracting the most international visitors, Dubai wins. Riyadh cannot match Dubai's tourism infrastructure within this decade. If winning means generating the most GDP, the answer depends on oil prices. If oil stays low, Dubai's diversified economy outperforms. If oil recovers, Riyadh's vast resources dominate. If winning means providing the best quality of life for international residents, Dubai wins. Its social environment, established institutions, and proven track record create comfort that Riyadh cannot yet match. If winning means achieving the most dramatic transformation, Riyadh wins. No city on earth is attempting change at Riyadh's scale. Whether that change succeeds or fails, it is unprecedented. If winning means mattering more to the global economy, the answer changes over time. Today, Dubai matters more because it is more connected. By 2035, if Riyadh delivers on its promises, the sheer scale of Saudi Arabia's economy and Riyadh's centrality to it may shift the balance. Perhaps the question itself is wrong. Dubai and Riyadh are not playing the same game. Dubai is playing a game it invented, perfected, and continues to dominate. The boutique global city, small in population, but massive in influence, connecting the world through trade, travel, and finance. Riyadh is playing a different game, the emerging megacity, vast in population and resources, transforming an entire nation while attempting to achieve in 1 decade what Dubai achieved in 5. These games have different rules, different timelines, and different measures of success. What we are witnessing is not a competition with a finish line. It is 2 experiments running simultaneously, testing different theories about how cities can develop, transform, and lead. Dubai's experiment asks, can a small city sustain global relevance through openness, efficiency, and accumulated trust? Riyadh's experiment asks, can unlimited resources, unified will, and existential motivation compress decades of development into years? Both experiments might succeed. Both might fail. One might succeed while the other fails. We won't know the results for decades. The cities themselves won't know until the experiments conclude. What we know today is this. 2 visions of the future are being constructed in the Arabian desert. One is polished, proven, and mature. The other is raw, ambitious, and uncertain. The competition between them will shape the Middle East for generations, and the Middle East, for better or worse, will shape the world.